I'm Juliette Martine and welcome to my new video blog series. This morning in my meditation, I was contemplating what sort of a life I actually want to live. Now that I'm a grown-up big girl, how do I want to be in my life? How do I want to live it? What kind of a life do I want to enjoy? How do I want to live my life in terms of the way I want to feel within myself and the type of life I want to live? And I realized something about myself. I actually want to live a limitless life, which is why I'm out here filming today in this beautiful bamboo garden, because to me, bamboo is all about abundance and living a limitless life. A life where there are no limits, where there are no constraints, a life where anything and everything is possible. A life that kind of surprises me every day in new and wonderful ways. Because I know from a manifestation perspective that absolutely anything and everything is possible in this universe, that there truly are no limits, and that if we can dream it and imagine it so it's capable of coming into our experience, if we just allow it to do so. But you know, the truth is, most of us, if not all of us, hold ourselves back. We hold ourselves back in terms of the way we see ourselves and the judgments we hold about ourselves, and the limitations we place on our sense of self-belief, self-worth, and self-value. We really hold ourselves back in terms of our regrets about the past, in terms of what we believe is or isn't possible in our lives, the fears we hold about our future. We hold ourselves back in so many different ways that sometimes I really wonder how we're able to get anywhere in our lives. And sometimes it can really feel like we're living Groundhog Day over and over and over again, because nothing much is really changing, and we're waking up every morning dragging ourselves out of bed and wondering what the purpose of it all is, because we're not really living the fullness of our being or shining bright in our lives. And I know from my own life and my work with clients that whenever we hold ourselves back in any way, there's always an energetic consequence to it. And the energetic consequences that are created by holding ourselves back is that it shows up as problems in our lives. Because what we're really doing is holding ourselves back and holding the flow of our own energy back. We're holding the flow of our own wisdom and understanding back. We're holding back the flow of our own power. And we're holding back the flow of our own abundance and magnificence and the greater all that we truly are. We hold ourselves back from shining bright and radiating that magnificence in our lives and in the world around us. But just think about it. What happens when you hold something back? When you hold back the flow of a river, for example. If you block the flow of a river and hold the water back, what happens to the flow of the water? It backs up, right? And over time, the longer it's held back, the greater the buildup of pressure and the more the energy builds up, until eventually something has to give. Oftentimes at the weakest point. So either the riverbanks will give and the energy will be diverted into other areas it wasn't intended, while downstream the river is actually starved of its energy and water flow. Or else the river will build up so much energy that eventually it will break through whatever was holding it back, and all its energy will break through with such force that it damages things along the way. And that's what happens in our lives if we hold ourselves back in any ways and prevent our own energy from flowing. We either experience a diversion of energy into areas of our life that aren't terribly productive. We experience a lack of energy in areas of our life where we wish things were flowing more. Or we experience a crisis in our lives if we allow energy to build up without doing something about the ways in which we're holding ourselves back. I think they call it a health crisis, a relationship breakdown, a job loss, or a midlife crisis, or just really questioning the meaning of life. You know, if we don't allow our magnificence, our abundant divine self to really flow fully and to shine its magnificent radiance in every area of our lives, then eventually we'll feel the energetic consequences of that through either a lack of energy or a problem or a crisis in some area of our lives, in our physical body, in our relationships, in our work, in our finances, or in our sense of meaning and purpose. Holding yourself back and not allowing your full magnificence to shine is to live a lesser version of yourself, a lesser version of who you're capable of being and experiencing in this lifetime. And to me, I realized in my meditation, living a limitless life is about allowing myself to move forward rather than holding myself back. It's about living a life where you allow life to guide you and to take you wherever is in the best interest for you to live the fullness of your being, without limit, without condition, and without regret. Because I know when you hold yourself back, you end up having regrets about not having lived a full life, not having been all that you came here to be, not having lived life fully and having settled for less than. A less than version of life, and most importantly, a less than version of who you've come here to be and to enjoy and to experience through the gift that is life itself. To me, living a limitless life is living a life where there are no limits, where there's more than enough for all of us, where there's nothing holding us back, and where the fullness of our being is allowed to shine and expand and unfold and reveal itself, and the more of us there is for us to discover. That to me is living a really full and rich and limitless life, and what I know Spirit would love us to embody. So, what kind of a life do you want to live? Have you ever stopped to contemplate the question? Do you even realize you have a choice in the matter? Because you do. You create your life not just through your actions, but through your consciousness, through the energy of your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and most importantly, through the energy of your intentions. So what are your intentions in terms of what kind of a life do you want to live? What would you love to live? What is your intent? Do you want to live a half life, a short life, an expansive life, a peaceful life, a safe life, a life of sacrifice or fulfillment or service or joy? Do you want to live an adventurous life, a secure life, a life inside your comfort zone, or a life that's filled with diversity and color and all the riches that life is wanting to bring into your experience? If life were a buffet table filled with every dish from around the world, every entree, every main, every dessert, every side dish from every country around the world, served on every type of platter you could possibly imagine, how would you want to decide what you eat? Would you want to enjoy everything that life has to offer you? Or would you stick to what you know and live the same things day in, day out? What would bring you joy? Because there is no right or wrong answer. The only question is, what would you love to experience? And what's holding you back from allowing yourself to experience it? Because life isn't holding itself back from you. Life wants you to experience all that you desire, to experience the richness and fullness and limitless nature of your being. The only thing that's blocking you from experiencing that is you and what you're willing to allow in. So before you explore why you've been holding yourself back and blocking yourself, first ask yourself the question, what is it I want to experience? What sort of a life do I want to live? Because everything starts from the power of your intent. And once you make the decision about what sort of a life you want to live, then the energy will be set in motion for your intended life to come into your reality and to clear whatever's been holding you back from allowing life in. Anything is possible if you allow it to be so. And if you want to live a limitless life, or a life that is more than your current experience in whatever ways would bring you joy, then it's time to make that decision, to set your intent, and to then decide what you'd like to do about it. But until you make the decision and set your intent as to what type of a life you want to live, life will run on autopilot, and the same things will just keep on keeping on, which is absolutely fine if you're happy with the way things are. If you'd like to change your life in any way, the most powerful place from which you can create that change is at the starting point of making the decision as to what sort of a life it is you want to live, that you'd love to live, that would really bring you joy. So make a decision, set your intent, and then live each day from that starting point. Until next time, from my heart to yours, bye for now.